fourth quarter for the Phoenix Suns. Kevin Durant, minutes played, 12. All 12 minutes of the fourth quarter, Kevin Durant on the floor for the Phoenix Suns. Devin Booker, minutes played, all 12 minutes for the Phoenix Suns played by Devin Booker. Only one other player cracked double digits. And there is one player that was nearly a part of the 12-minute club. Collin Gillespie last night during the fourth quarter played 11 minutes and 57 seconds. He was 4 of 6 from the field, 2 of 3 from behind the three-point line, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 10 points, a plus 21 in the fourth quarter as he helped lead the charge back for the Phoenix Suns as they erase a 23-point deficit to defeat the Los Angeles Clippers 119-117. And so I wanted to dedicate an entire segment to Collin Gillespie. Am I going to take somewhat of a victory lap here? You betcha. Because around the trade deadline, around the All-Star break, what conversation did we have over and over again here on the show? It's time to make a change of point guard. Tyus Jones, the turnovers, him just being absent in the fourth quarter of these games because the team just didn't trust him. He wasn't providing anything of value to the team in this position. And the point I kept making is your season is spiraling. You are playing nowhere near the type of basketball that you expected to play this year. It can't get any worse. Ty Washington, Collin Gillespie, it can't be any worse than where Tyus Jones was at. And so I join the calls of others of wanting to have somebody else be the starting point guard. Now, the ultimate place we got to coming out of that break, if you remember, they just put Bradley Beal back into the starting lineup, and Bradley Beal left the game last night, did not return in the second half with a calf injury, so who knows how long he's going to be out with that. He's been dealing with it for a little bit. They listed him as questionable going into the game last night, and so that popped up on the injury report once again for the Phoenix Suns, as now they have to navigate a potential Bradley Beal-less Suns team. But I thought it was time to give somebody else a run. Why not see what Collin Gillespie has? Why not see what Ty Washington has? Why not just see? And if it doesn't work, okay. You're not a team that's chasing down the Warriors' regular season win total. It's not a scenario of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's broken. It's very broken. The Phoenix Suns were very broken at the time that we were having that conversation. And so I was a part of the calls of making a change at point guard. And I was a part of the calls of saying, hey, let's give Collin Gillespie a chance. Let's give Ty Washington a chance. And so last night, I'll tell you, it was particularly enjoyable for me to watch Collin Gillespie thrive in these moments for the Phoenix Suns. And not just thrive in terms of the points that he put up, right? He only ended up with 10 points, all 10 points in the fourth quarter. Not only did he make some big threes, I just thought he provided an energy and an attitude that has been missing from this team on the defensive end. The team played New Orleans last week, right? Jose Alvarado, you're annoyed when you play him because you just know what he's going to demand of you. You know what he's going to do to you on the defensive end. And I got to tell you, watching Collin Gillespie play last night, his energy on both ends of the floor, the way that he was just cutting, taking the ball to the basket, it felt like he was just providing an energy and an attitude that this team didn't have, that they have been missing. And so for me right now, Collin Gillespie is the starting point guard of this basketball team. You don't have Bradley Beal, so you're not going back to a place where those three guys are all going to be in the lineup, Beal, Booker, Durant. So you're going to put in a traditional point guard. It's time. Tyus Jones last night didn't play at all in the fourth quarter. For the game, Tyus Jones played 18 minutes, I want to say. Played 18 minutes and 49 seconds. Collin Gillespie played 14 minutes, 36 seconds in the game last night. Nearly 12 minutes in the fourth quarter. There's a new starting point guard in town for the Phoenix Suns, and his name is Collin Gillespie. Why? Because he provides a different attitude, a different energy. And attitude, I don't mean body language. I just mean the effort, the energy, the flying around nature. Every loose ball, he seems like he's all over the place. He's flying in to make sure that he's breaking up potential offensive rebounds for the Clippers last night. He is just trying to cause as much havoc. He is trying to keep opposing teams off their game and on their toes. I can't say the same for Tyus Jones. I can't. As much as I like Tyus, he's a good player. Hasn't fit here for Phoenix. And if this is going to turn into something, and we're going to talk about this on the other side of the break, if this is going to turn into something for the Phoenix Suns, they need to continue to harvest what they did in the fourth quarter. Because they started and ended the game really well. +6 at the end of the first quarter, and it was a +21 in the fourth quarter. That second quarter was abysmal. Outscored 41-19 in the second quarter. Defense was awful. If they are going to turn this into something, they need to harvest what they did in the fourth quarter. And you know what they did in the fourth quarter? Truthfully, they had a heavy dose of Kevin Durant being Kevin Durant. The final 14 minutes of the basketball game, KD made more shots than the entire Clippers team. So it was a heavy dose of the best player on the team. And who was number 2? It was Collin Gillespie. If you were listing reasons why the Suns were able to make that comeback in the fourth quarter, Kevin Durant's number 1, Collin Gillespie is a close number 2. You felt it watching that game last night. If you did, you felt it. And if you're listening to this program, you probably watched that game last night. Collin Gillespie was a difference maker. Driving to the basket, laying things up, making good passes, being a pest on defense, just being an agitator. That's what the Suns have been missing. When we play this cut, and I'll play it for you again, of Stan Van Gundy talking about the Suns' defense, and he called it pathetic.
We just got to see a lot more defense from the Suns if they're going to make a move here. The door's opened up with injuries to Kyrie Irving, Domantas Sabonis. Oh, this is what we're talking about. This Suns defense is pathetic.
That's during that second quarter when they got outscored 41-19. That comment about a pathetic defense and the door being open because of the injuries to Kyrie Irving and to Sabonis, giving the Suns somewhat of a pathway, maybe a 1 or 2% chance that they didn't have in previous days, that if they're going to walk through that door, they have to have a better defensive effort. Guess who provided that better defensive effort? Guess who provided just a better all-around effort in the fourth quarter when they needed a comeback? Collin Gillespie. You don't think when that game got close, Collin Gillespie realized, I'm out here with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker in a have-to-have-it game if we're going to try to go on a run? And he thrived in those moments. He knocked down this big three. He knocked down this shot.
Chris Dunn, their best defender, is on Collin Gillespie.
No fouls to give here. Gillespie open for 3. It's good!
That's in a 2-point game. That's what the game 116-114. Hayes not in the barn yet. You've stormed back. You've made this great comeback. You've erased a 23-point deficit. Now you have a small lead in the fourth quarter at home. Your crowd's into it. There's pressure now because you can win this game. This game is ours now. All the momentum on our side. We've just got to finish the job. And in that moment, Collin Gillespie knocks down that shot and plays that way in the fourth quarter in his nearly 12 minutes of action. Missed all but 3 seconds at the end of the game. The Suns showed fight last night in large part because of the way Collin Gillespie played in the fourth quarter. So there's your starting point guard. With Bradley Beal out, there's an opening in the starting lineup. This is Collin Gillespie's time to be in the starting 5 for the Phoenix Suns. That's not to say you send Tyus Jones to Mars. You don't do what you did to Yusuf Nurkic. I'm not saying that. Collin Gillespie is the starting point guard of the Phoenix Suns right now. You played really well. He was a large part of being able to fuel that comeback. If this is going to spark something, we're going to talk about that here on the other side of the break. If this is going to spark something, then you need to reward the people that were part of that spark. And Collin Gillespie was at the center of that spark last night.